Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for joining me and Todd this morning. I guess all the pretty ladies are not going to hang in with us today. Joining me and Todd. Let me clear this out.
Rookie.
Yeah, rookie.
Yeah, I'm here with the Queen City Picker.
We're sitting here talking about dad stuff and our children, and I wasn't paying attention to the time. Hank, how are you doing this morning, honey? You doing good? I hope everybody's New Year's started off with a bang. And hope our fearless leader who's on vacay, I hope she's having a good time. She's probably about 45 minutes away from me.
Yeah, y'all still going to do a meetup?
I hope so. I hope we can get together for at least for a little lunch or something like that.
Hi, Hank. Yeah. How's Roberta's feeling? Her tooth? Is it taken care of yet?
It's getting somewhat better.
Gosh.
They can't. She broke the tooth, and they're trying to save the tooth. And she's to the point now it's like take the damn thing out and put a implant in,
Mm-hmm.
or do a root canal and put a cap on it. Let's move on. But because she's had the transplant, she cannot. There's a lot of meds she can't take because it reacts with her transplant medicine.
Yep.
So anyhow, we're surviving.
Mm-hmm.
She got some sleep last night. She had to go in. She needed to go in this morning. She hadn't been in the office since before Christmas because she's on vacation. And she needed to go in and make sure everybody, to make her presence known. There's the chick picker. There's Valerie.
Chick picker.
Lord have mercy. But she's doing better. And I was so tired I made a mistake. I laid down about 8 o'clock last night. I was just going to lay down for a few minutes, and I woke back up at 11, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, and it was, oh God, it must have been 3 before I ever went back to sleep. But I got up and pulled some things that I got to ship, and washed a load of clothes and folded a load of clothes. Made up a to-do list of about 140 things I needed to get done today, and then I finally went back to sleep.
I got a ton of stuff to do. I got to cancel my debit card. I had a bogus charge on it, and
Can we give you a temporary one?
I don't know. I can still write checks out of the account if I have to, but let's see if I can. Let me bring. I'm looking up the bank now on my phone. I got to read this charge to you. Do 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 do. Okay. The charge was for $39.99 to Fierce Horny Babes. I did not make a call to. It's one of those, I guess, a pay call. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fierce horny babes. Yeah.
Or he was buying some merch off of the
Yeah.
off the website.
Maybe so.
Well, we Roberta had all the bills drafted out of our account, and she had it on her debit card, and then her card got hacked. I'll say one thing for Wells Fargo. Whenever they have, good morning, Jennifer. Glad you can make it in here this morning. She made a purchase here in Charlotte, and I guess a few minutes later we got a phone call from Wells Fargo wanting to know whether she had just made a purchase in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Good morning, Patty." I said, "No, she just was out here on, not too far from our house in Charlotte." He said, "Well, that's what it threw up an alert because the same card was used so fast, between two locations." And so they had to cancel her debit card. Well, we just went in and created another a checking account and all our bills, because she had to go back in and, give all these new numbers, or the new card number, to all these, like our insurance companies and our utility companies and whatnot.
Yeah, it's pain in the pain.
We just gave them. We just opened up a checking account called, we call Household, and they have all these places have our bank, our checking account number. So they're doing a draft that away and not through with debit cards, because God only, you got to start remembering, where the hell did I, what do I have on standing order, or, auto renew and things like that. They should shoot these people.
Yep.
Good morning, First. Glad you could join it. This is the first one I've had in the morning in a long time. And that's because Valerie's on vacation and I'm helping cover for that. But, I was beginning to doubt whether I was going to be able to do any this week, because it's been such a headache. But I'm glad you could join us.
Yep.
Patty, our fearless leader, is on the north side of Charlotte. But anyhow, well, let me tell you, I'm not a Poshmark virgin anymore. I sold my first item on Poshmark. So I got to get that.
Got to catch them all.
Yep. So I have had my first sale. And I was getting ready, and actually, if Roberta hadn't have gotten sick and I've just had all this other crap going on, I was getting ready to take everything down off of Poshmark. But I might just add some more stuff and see how it goes.
Yeah.
First Munch, where are you at? If you had an early day, you just finished painting a house. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning.
Sally Boo.
Are you hearing me okay?
Yep.
Good.
So,
what's going on, guys?
Oh, everything and nothing and points in between.
everything and
Yeah. Nothing too exciting, but yeah. How about yourself?
same.
I am not in the mood for you this morning. Go away and play. Go to sleep. Let's battle begin. Good morning, Tessa. Okay.
Great.
First is in Scotland.
Are you doing okay, Tom?
I am. If I get caught my rest called up. Other than that, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm over the flu, I guess.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. How's things up there with you? You getting getting much snow?
We've got snow. We keep getting snow. But I'm still dealing with freaking pulled muscle.
Wow. How'd you do that?
I have no idea. I just know that that's when you know you're old. You have no idea how you got a pulled muscle.
Well, I was about to say you and Brandon are getting, you're not young, spry things anymore. You got to quit that crazy stuff now.
No, it's not even that. It's like I don't even know how it happened. And this is the third day with it, and but it's not.
Well,
I was hoping it would be gone this morning, but it's not. Like it's not all the time. Like I could feel it all the time. Super painful all the time. It's painful when I try to get up.
right.
It's really it really takes a lot for me to get up.
Are you out of work for a couple of days, or you once you get up, you're okay?
Yesterday was my third day off.
Uh,
So I got to go back today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you better get some rest. I mean, get you some icy hot or some Bengay and slather down.
Yeah. Oh, every time, like before Brandon leaves, I have him put that on my back because that's the only thing that has been taking away a little bit of the pain. So
it's pulled your muscle in your back.
Yeah, it's in between my spine and my shoulder blade.
Oh, man. That's a bad
well, you
place
better take it easy.
That's a bad place to have it because you use those muscles all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've not been babying it really. I mean, I know that, I know my own body, and like usually when I pull a muscle, it helps for me to use it. Not just baby it and hope pain goes away. So I've been stretching it and, and stuff. Not real hard or anything, but just like, just normal stretches. Good morning, Jennifer and Hank. Tessa.
It's going to be. I was talking to another friend of mine who is not in the reseller community that lives in Pennsylvania. And he said
Mhm.
he walked out of his house because it was really cold up there.
Mhm.
He said he walked out of his house and walked to his truck, and he said he's got a 4-wheel drive F-150. I know, Tara, you can't haul crap with a 150, but he's got one.
Mhm.
And it's 4-wheel drive, so it sits up a little bit higher than most regular pickup trucks. And he said he raised his right leg to get in, and he got a cramp. And he said he had to sit in the driveway
Yeah.
about 10 minutes before he could put his foot up on the brake to put it in reverse. And he said his son came outside and said, "Dad, are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I just had a cramp and
Oh my
couldn't move." He said, "Okay." Mom said, "You better go check on your daddy. He might be having a heart attack or a stroke or something out there."
Oh my God.
Good
Oh
morning,
my
Lori.
God.
Good morning.
Well,
Like,
Go ahead.
more Lori.
Good morning.
I was
There's
just
a
gonna say with my Jimmy,
Ow, quit scratching.
my Jimmy's got such big tires on. I have to lift my leg up waist high to get in my vehicle.
Waist high?
Like
Dang, you
I
get
have to lift it up. I have to lift it up to where like my leg is straight out. But I'm short, so that's there.
my
But
neighbor.
I need to put a
My neighbor's son's got a pickup truck with a lift kit on it. It's 4-wheel drive, and he's got
Mhm.
he's got the bars on the step bars on the side of it. But his mother still bitches about. She's got a plastic step stool with a rope tied to it that sits in the back because to get into it, she opens the back seat of the back door of the truck and sets it down on the ground. Then gets up into the pickup truck and then pulls the step stool up into the truck with her. I said,
Oh my God.
you go to a lot of problem just for to get in his truck. And she said, "I hate riding in that truck. First of all, because he's got a lift kit on it. Once you put a lift kit on anything, it makes it don't matter how good it rides in the beginning, it just tears that ride all up." But she
Oh yeah.
does got a little pink and yellow step stool that rides around in the back seat. Good morning, fishing picker. Yeah, when she took my
What are
Jenny,
you talking about?
what she was about to
Picking?
say about that. I didn't know whether she'd picked her up a
Well-
boyfriend on the side.
It's a Jimmy.
Yeah,
It's
a
a car.
GMC.
Yep.
It's but it's yeah. There's a couple of memes that I really like that flows around on Facebook. One of them is got this guy holding a champagne glass, and he says, "You need to let the young girl at your age. You need to let the young girls go and find somebody that realizes the signs of stroke."
Oh my God.
And the other one,
Oh.
is, you're old. You're old if you fall down and they come running instead of laughing or something like that. But so I'm just embracing my inner old person or my outer old person. You really working on my nerves this morning. It's short. Get in the box. Oh Lord. When you're not sleeping good, it'll make you kind of testy. Oh, is it now? I've never heard that before.
That's not up here fishing and picking.
I've never heard of that
Yeah, it's
before.
not like that here. I've never heard of it either. If I wanted to say that, I'd say that.
Yeah, And she wouldn't even say wiener. She'd get down to the brass tacks of it.
I,
We call
I-
Jimmy
I,
sorry.
no, that's right.
So we call a Jimmy something
Go
we
ahead.
unlock the doors with if we lock our keys in it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a friend that's on the CMPD, and they're not allowed to help people break into the car. That's Charlotte Police Department. You know, it used to be they had this bar that they could just pretty much slide down through the window and slide down in the door and unlock the door. Well, they're not allowed to do it anymore because of all the new electronics on it, and they don't want them to have pay for somebody's door. That, yeah, they don't have somebody. So they just say, if you don't have a cell phone, I think I have to call a locksmith and wait with them.
Yeah. Hi, Anna.
Good morning, Anna. So is everybody having a prosperous new year?
Get out of there.
I don't know about that.
Quit, you guys. Come on. Being attacked by dogs.
Oh, Hank, you're so funny. I agree.
Let me back up and address something here. I'm sorry I missed it. Now I've lost it because it scrolled.
Here, you guys are going to go out there. You're driving me crazy.
First Month said you'll be able to make a living with tobacco after March 10th. People like me going to need it. What's all that about? First, is that are they outlawing tobacco or tobacco sales, or you can't get it from the rest of the EU or something? Because I was talking about talking to my representative for the state house here, and because we were talking about you can't smoke on the streets. You can only smoke in designated places. You can't smoke in public buildings. You can't smoke in restaurants. Blah 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 blah. I said, why don't you outlaw it? He said, it'll never happen because we make too much money off of taxes. Oh, they're He says they're just stopping making them menthol too.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if they're going to start doing that, like putting such restrictions on tobacco, then just make it illegal.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like stop running around the problem. And I'm a smoker. So, I'm just saying stop running around the problem, and if you want to get rid of it, then get rid of it, but just know that you're going to have people that are going to sell it off the market.
Yeah. Well,
It's going to be black market.
It's like I know people that are from New York, from the city, and when they leave here, they get a trunk full of damn cigarettes. Because they're picking up cigarettes for their friends while they're down here and taking them back up there.
Yeah.
But people will find a way around it.
Does anybody know if Trump made his statement this morning yet?
Do what?
Does anybody know if Trump made a statement this morning yet?
No. What was he supposed to make a statement about?
There was missile strikes.
Okay, I know
yesterday.
about missile strikes.
Huh?
I said I knew there had been missile strikes. A few days ago. I have really been out of it the last 2 or 3 days.
No, this is yesterday.
Oh.
They had 11, I think, 11 or 12 that hit two of our bases that were that had U.S. troops in it. And also there was a plane that went down last night or early this morning, over there somewhere.
Dang.
And like 180 people died. A lot of people died. And it's kind of weird. To me, it's just kind of weird because I think it was Ukrainian. I could be wrong.
What was Ukrainian? The plane or the missiles?
The plane, I think. But I try not to worry about this too much, but I do like to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Forgot my coffee.
Good morning, Maggie.
You're not showing up on my live list. Oh, wait. There you go. Wait. There you go.
Well, it's all this crap is so messed up these days. I mean, I watch studios on a regular basis, and it never shows up. I just know when he's gonna be online. Do what, Todd?
Yeah. Morning, Hank.
Hi, Maggie.
First, how you feeling, Sally?
I'm doing. I'm still alive.
There you go.
How about you, Maggie? How's your mouth this morning?
Not bad at all. Yeah. I was afraid, I was afraid to use my CPAP machine last night, though. So I had an awful night's sleep. Forgot to ask the dentist if it was okay. Have you ever used your machine after you've had a tooth pulled?
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they I don't think you can get dry socket for that with that, but I don't think they like disallow it like they do like smoking or something,
Yeah. I had meant to ask and I forgot. By the time I thought of it, it was too late. And then I just had this fear. Michael had a dry socket once, and it was just so painful. And I didn't want to take a chance, so I didn't use it. But you're probably the same. When I just tossed and turned all night. I couldn't sleep.
Wow.
So, and I think I'll probably be fine tonight. So.
Yeah.
So how has your year been so far? We're in day 8 of it. Have you already made your $1 million this year, Maggie?
Not quite. I have a few dollars. And my sales have been really good. Yeah. My Poshmark sales have been kind of crappy, but my eBay sales have been good. So.
Good morning, Stephen. Well, I posted and you responded to this. Had my first Poshmark sale.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I was surprised.
Have you been listing over there, or you just kind of have?
No, I haven't.
Have you been sharing?
Huh?
Have you been sharing?
I haven't done anything with that thing since like October. I actually was getting ready to take down everything off of Poshmark and just kind of like regroup. And now I've got some clothes laid out, which I'd laid them out before yesterday before I made the sale that I was going to cross post when I listed them today. And so I guess I'll be I will be cross-posting them.
I mean, they're clothes. It doesn't hurt to put them up there.
I just and then I immediately got up because the notice came to my phone. I immediately got up and came out here and deleted them from eBay because I was scared that with my luck somebody would buy it. Somebody mentioned one day on the show that they sold something off of a Poshmark, and then the same person bought the same thing off of eBay.
Oh, that is weird.
Before they could get over to eBay to delete it.
That was Valerie, wasn't it?
I can't. I don't know.
No, like she said that she sold kind of simultaneous items on eBay and Poshmark, but they weren't the same item. But they were, like 2 pairs of boots. One sold on Poshmark, and then just a few minutes later, one sold on eBay.
With the same person?
I don't think so.
Oh,
but it was just, she said it was just weird how like 2 pairs of boots or 2 purses or whatever it was sold, that they were like items.
Now, I've several times had it happen where something sold on eBay and Amazon, a book to the same person.
Yeah.
Like a person trying to get multiple copies of a book.
Right.
Or a book selling to different people at the same time because maybe something was on TV or something was on the radio or something, and people were picking up the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't worry about the other way. If something sells elsewhere, I try to get it off eBay immediately, but I'm not as good about getting it off of Poshmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my things to do today is I need to go in because I have sold some stuff off of eBay that I know is on Poshmark, so I need to go over there and make sure I've deleted them. But
oh, look at that cutie, Lori. You're cute too, Lori.
Say hi. Not to me.
He's like, you're embarrassing me, or she, he or she.
She.
Oh, she gets to where when I say, "Well, I got to go to work," she follows me in here.
Oh.
I can handle her, but I can't handle her and Betty together because then they both went up on my lap, and then they want to wrestle while I'm holding them. So I have to one or the other, and it's usually her that comes in with me.
My niece has baby goats, not baby goats, they're little tiny goats, and she has a couple of the miniature horses, and she says one of them goats. Well, she said I had to tell Grabs not to sit down outside because one of them would try to crawl up in their lap. She said there's one of the tiniest of the miniature goats. She thinks she's a lap goat. She wants to be held. And one of the ponies, he likes to sit right up beside you. If you sit like down on the stoop of your house, he'll come up and sit down on the stoop beside you and try to lay on you.
They have one of the what they call the Tennessee fainting goats.
Yeah. No, these are not the fainting goats. These are just the ones you see hopping around on YouTube.
Yeah, the little pygmy goats.
Pygmy, yeah. That's what I was trying to think of.
Baby goats in pajamas.
You know what?
They were crazy in the head, going back to people buying the same thing off of 2 different platforms. Maybe they were crazy in the head like me. I bought the 2 of the exact same items from eBay and Amazon. I forgot that I had already ordered from the first platform.
Oh,
oh my gosh.
Good morning, Carol.
That's really all it would take for me to get addicted to something like that, is have something try to get in my lap or lay its head on me or something, and I'd be addicted.
Well, there's a YouTube video of this baby elephant that wants to sit, in the
Yes, I've seen
caretaker.
it.
He tries to sit in his caretaker's lap like a dog, and the baby elephant's as big as the guy is, but he's doing his, or she's trying her best to get in his lap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she probably weighs what, 250 probably.
Probably. We have my sister-in-law has a friend that is a big game vet, and she works with well, her husband's rich, so she doesn't charge, but she works with a lot of zoos and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she's been places and it's at zoos, and they have babies, and the babies want to be held, and they try to crawl up you like a cat, or they want you to hold them in their arms, and she's like, they're bigger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I love the baby elephant video because she does her best to try to fit his lap. Roberta follows somebody that he's a vet, or he's an official at a zoo or something. He's got a couple of big cats that live in the house with him.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
They've raised them from babies.
Mm.
Not Jack Hanna, is it?
No, it's somebody down in Florida.
He's right
And they're scared of the guy's Chihuahua. But we had some friends. My family had some friends that raised Great Danes, and they had a male that when he stood on all fours, his back was up to my shoulders. He was a big, huge dog, and they had a little mixed breed terrier yappy dog, but she was there before any of the Danes came along. So she was the alpha male, female,
Alpha dog.
and she was also mama. Because they would start running around and start irritating her, and she would snap just like a mama will. Go sit down. She just all go find their beds and get down for a little while. Carol says she's listening while getting ready for an appointment. What you doing? Getting ready to go down to the bank and roll around in all that money you got in that vault, Carol?
Carol, thank you.
I'm trying to be better.
Package of watches.
Oh,
Yeah.
What did you do?
that's good.
Carol sent me a bunch of watches to
Oh, awesome.
put batteries in and
That's
sell.
good.
She's like, I don't like this stuff. I'm just going to give it away. And so she does. I love Carol.
Yeah.
I'm going to go today and look at a lady's got a bunch of stuff from an estate that was given to her, and she doesn't want it. So I'm going to go look and see what she's got.
I love free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an elderly lady, so it's going to have some, antiques and vintage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd be interested to see what you find.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, how are you doing getting your stuff listed from the Hotbed? That good?
I haven't even started, man.
Good morning, Patty.
I've cleaned a few pieces of jewelry to get it ready for listing, but then I spent all day yesterday putting guttering on my boy's house,
That's right.
and
And
so
you
yeah, I'll get some of it listed today, but no, I haven't even started.
have to go back to your son's house today?
No,
No.
I'm gonna give it a couple of days or weeks before I go back. He's still young and he works me too hard.
Hi, sis. How you doing?
So, but yeah, there's bunches of stuff to get done. So yeah, my boy's garage was converted into extra room in the house, and the old garage door is rotting and falling off. So we got to go back and put new, put in some insulation there and put on siding there.
Oh, Lord.
We bought some siding, but yeah. And it's just a single car garage, so the opening is like 7 foot by 9 foot or something. Anyway, it's not gonna be too hard, but it's just work. Just gotta do it. Just gotta do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta go back sometime soon. But the problem with the wood rotting out the door is now animals have gone in through the holes in that old door and up in his attic.
Oh no.
So I think he says there's cats and possums.
Oh Lord.
So
That's a really naughty mix.
he's got to figure out how to run all the animals back out through the hole and then put up the siding while they're outside. So I don't know how he's going to accomplish that. I guess we'll find out.
Man.
Because if you put up the siding and they can't get out, then they're just going to starve to death up in his attic and die and smell like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Stink.
Yeah,
Stink.
that is not helping anything.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway. Fun times. I don't know how we're going to figure that out. Somebody at Home Depot suggested, get some of that there dough pea and spray it around up there in the attic. And they won't like that smell and they will leave. But so then I said, well, won't your house smell like dough pea? He said, oh, yeah, for a little while, but it'll go away. Like,
just send that boy up in the attic with a big one of those Maglite 5 million candle power deals and shoo them out, or check to see if they're out any up there.
Man, he says they're quiet during the daytime when he's awake, and then at nighttime when he's sleeping, that's when they wake up and start making racket. So
he'll have to put some traps up, I think.
I guess
Put some traps up there and then make it to where they can get in.
Yeah.
Like they can't get in, they can't get out type thing. Before you resolve it with the siding and stuff. Just like try to like board up the hole or temporary, get the hole covered and then put traps up there.
Yeah, I've also heard mothballs will run them out, but
I don't think mothballs are gonna do much of anything. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't
that's a way
like being
to
around the
get them out.
strong smell of mothballs, so maybe animal. I don't know. So fun times.
Yeah.
Carol said I cleaned her junk pile. Yeah, those watches are gonna have to go on the back burner until I get through some of this stuff I bought at auction.
Yeah, you're gonna make a bunch of money. You get them listed.
Yep.
Hi, Jody. Happy birthday.
How that camcorder does.
Hmm?
I'll be interested to see how the camcorder does.
Yeah, that's a fancy one.
Yeah. Did you ever find whether it had the what was it you thought it was missing? I can't remember. You
Oh,
thought
the camcorder's all there. The sewing machine was missing the
Oh,
foot pedal.
the sewing machine, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got it all mixed up in my head.
It's all right. You're getting old, so we forgive
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Listen to it.
Yeah, today's Jody's birthday.
Did you say it's
birthday?
Jody's birthday?
Jody.
Jody.
Good morning, Jody, and happy birthday.
Jody, not
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jody. Happy birthday to you. Ow.
Nice, Todd. Nice.
We're gonna
Thank
start. I'm gonna start.
Yay.
I'm gonna download a copy of this, and I'm gonna cut that out because I'm going to do the best of Todd and singing Happy Birthday. Good morning, Sharky Mom Deals.
Hi, Kathy.
Oh, wait, what was I doing? I was distracted by Todd's song there.
Sorry.
Is he his crooning? Isn't that what they like?
Like Bing
Frank
Crosby.
Sinatra and Perry Como and all those. Didn't they? Weren't they called the crooners or something?
Yeah. Who knows?
Todd, after you retired, did you ever think about doing private lessons?
I think he's ignoring you.
Possibly so. I don't see the shadow moving, so he must be stepped away.
Yeah. I was just kidding.
Oh, I know. You mean?
Oh, he's making a announcement at 11.
Okay.
Who's making an announcement?
The president.
Oh, him.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I don't like watch TV or anything, so like I don't know what's going on. I know that we had some missile strikes yesterday that was directed at U.S. military bases in Iraq, and also there was a plane that went down that had 180 people on it.
Saw that there was a plane that went down.
You did hear about that?
Yep, from the Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, and I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it, and I told Tom about it, and I'm like, I think it's Ukrainian, but I'm not sure.
Yep.
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, it's just so suspicious, though.
I agree, because they on the initial report that I read, it said that it was mechanical, but it's way too suspicious to be mechanical for a couple hours after the missile launch
Yeah.
or strike or whatever. Yeah, that's just too weird.
Somebody's too quick on the trigger there, I think. Yeah, first month, it's a lot of
What happened?
sad stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is very sad.
Because of the unrest, the price of gold shot way up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anytime there's upheavals in the world, the price of gold zooms. For a while, it was over $1,600 an ounce. It's back down to $1,570 now.
Well, I better do something with that 100-pound brick of gold I got sitting under my bed, holding the head of my bed up a little bit higher.
Yep.
It's supposed to be cold here today. Right now it's 14.
Dang. Yep, that's cold.
It's a little blessing. Keep it
And
up.
I think the highest supposed to get is 23.
I think it was 35 here. What are you laughing about?
Because I heard music and I went to go dance and I see Lori. She's already dancing.
Calypso drum.
Oh.
I don't know where it come from, but hey.
I know. Take it while we get it. It's free dancing. Free dancing.
Good morning, Swamp Picker.
Hey, Glenn.
Good morning, Shanny Sales. It's
Shanny.
First Munch was talking about the cigarette thing right a few minutes ago. It's like, our countries, they get focused on stuff when there's some other things that are more important. Like they're doing all this tobacco stuff over there in Scotland now. And, the EU not the EU, the UK has got so many daggone problems in-house over there right at the moment that you'd think stuff like that would not be the biggest issue to deal with, if that made any sense at all. But I'm old. I try to do two things at one time and it don't work.
Well, it's just as well as the United States throwing all this shade at Trump, and then, I'm not a political person, but he's our president, and he's got bigger problems, I think, to worry about than, who said what, who grabbed whose butt, whatever it is about. I don't even know what it's about, to tell you the truth. And I'm sorry, but he didn't do near as bad as what some other of our other presidents have done. So, I mean,
well, first of all, you got to be insane to want that job.
Yeah, definitely.
You have got to be a glutton for punishment somebody from the time you put your hand on that Bible, everybody's on your ass until the time the next person puts their hand on the Bible. It's always your fault. It's always, everything is all about you, good, bad, the ugly. It's all about you. That's the reason these people come out of there. Obama looked like he put on 30 years between the time he went in and came out. His hair was so gray. I mean, all of them look like hell when they except Ronnie Reagan, and he put dye in his hair, and he didn't give a damn whether you knew it or not. But they all look like hell when they come out.
Yeah, they did.
Good morning, Jim and Tara. There's another slot in here, Tara, if you want to pop in. But
it's so crazy. It's so crazy that I don't know if it's just like the times that we're in, but I think it's not. I think it's been happening for years and years now, where I mean, I know that people got to have something to hear about, scandals or whatever the shit they want to talk about. But it's like that stuff is gaining more of an importance than, what is actually important, which is like, our government and our country and the well-being of that. And it's sad that, that all of these little, nitpicking people, they go looking for a story and they can't come up with something better than, drudging up the past or, finding something that, they've done, that was off the books or whatever. And, instead of focusing on real news.
Well, first of all, everybody has got their nose in everybody's butt about finding what they're doing, what sins they've committed today, and blah blah. That's the reason. Like the Kardashians are one of the wealthiest families in Hollywood. What the hell have they done? I mean, really, what have they done except be somewhat pretty?
Just like JFK, just like when JFK was assassinated. My mom told me so many times about the day that she heard, or the time that she heard that he was assassinated. She was in school, and that everybody just started bawling, as if it was their brother,
right?
And they felt like they were so close to that president.
I was 6 when he was shot, and I was at school, and they actually let our schools out and sent us home.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were fighting in Vietnam when he got shot. Oh no, I don't think he was there yet.
I think my mother was in high school.
My mother would have been, what year did he get shot?
63.
Yeah, she'd have been in high school too.
Dang, your moms are a lot older than I am.
Yeah, no, I'm not drinking wine cooler. It's grapefruit soda.
Do what?
Yeah, my sister was in high school.
But you know what? No, people did not bust out crying, or I don't remember anybody crying and carrying on about it. I think most people, especially the boys, were glad because we were getting to go home early. I mean, we really didn't have a concept of what had happened, but we were getting to go home from school early.
I remember do you remember the Challenger space shuttle crash? I was in,
we were watching that.
Oh, really? I was in 7th grade, and the principal of Catholic school came across and made an announcement. She starts it off with how this horrible event happened, and we all immediately thought we had gone into nuclear war with Russia. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, we actually had a a bush like dedicated to, and they like put a plaque in and everything dedicated to the explorers.
Mm.
I was in college. I was in a dorm room. I was in my buddy's dorm room. A couple of guys, these two guys, they're straight A students, and they smoke grass every morning, religiously. These two guys, one guy wound up later worked for the DEA and went on to. He was in Virginia when he passed away. He was a bigwig with the Defense Department. But anyway, so these guys, him and his roommate, would both wake and bake. And I'm in their room. We're watching The Price is Right, and there's a World War II Navy submarine commander is in the showcase showdown or whatever against this woman, and we're rooting for this old Navy vet to win. And about 7 minutes to the hour, they break in with there's been a disaster or whatever. So we never did find out if that sub commander won the showcase.
Well, maybe you could Google it.
But yeah, we all blew off classes. Nobody went to class that day. We all just blew it off and sat and watched TV all day. I did not smoke grass.
But you know, one of the things I distinctly remember about JFK getting shot is
you don't have to call it grass anymore.
the next day going riding
Mary Jane.
Wacky tobacco.
The next day riding the bus to school. I remember this little girl. I don't remember her name or anything like that. And she said, "Well, my mama said that they got what they deserved." And that is stuck in my mind all these years.
The space shuttle people got what they deserved?
Yeah, but you know, Kennedy got what he deserved.
Okay. Okay, she must have voted for the other side.
I don't know, but I to this day, I think that's the stupidest thing anybody can say in front of their child.
Yeah, but I know why, Tom. It's because you Southerners don't like Catholics leading the country because we have allegiance to the papacy.
Allegiance to what?
You know, the Pope, because we have a Pope, so they think like you have allegiance to a foreign leader, the Pope. The Pope
Yeah, they thought JFK would do whatever.
Yeah, like the Pope would be influencing JFK for running the United States.
Yeah, the Baptists and the Freemasons are against us Catholics.
Hey, you're a Freemason.
Well, you know, it's like this. You know, how to put this nicely. He allegedly, you know, slept with everything that walked in and out of the White House. So, you know, I don't consider him being as religious as he, you know.
Well, it's like a dog that sometimes I think of with a man that sleeps around, it's like a dog that chases cars. You love the dog, but you just can't break it from chasing cars.
But, you know, back to, you know, what we were talking about a while ago, everybody is in everybody's business, you know, Facebook, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. You know, I love my friends, but I don't care to see, you know, to get an alert saying, oh, so-and-so is eating at the Outback. Well, good for you. I really don't give a rat's butt, you know? And I think that's the way with the news. They think, you know, well, first of all, we've got so many news outlets now. Whether they're fake or not is beside the point. We've got so many.
Oh, boy.
And they've got to keep viewers, or people are going to lose their jobs and people are going to go out of business. But, you know, I just think everybody's just got their nose in everybody else's business too much. And that's the kind of mentality that we've got going on now.
I think it's like an offshoot of drama. It's like, you know, people, it's like draws them in. It's interesting or whatever. It's like drama.
Well, even though, you know, our president is our president, you have to still understand that he's still a man.
Yeah.
You know, he's still a human being and he's still going to make mistakes. And we're not, you know, when somebody asked to be the president of the United States and they get vetted and they go through the whole process of it, they're not, told that you can't make any mistakes now. You have to do everything right. That's not part of the deal. Part of the deal is, you're part of the government.
Well, once you get sworn in, you don't care what the hell anybody says, because you are the man. You are the most powerful man in the world.
Yeah.
You don't really care what anybody says. Bite my old big fat crusty butt. I don't care. And you're right. He is our president. I did not vote for Obama. I was not an Obama supporter.
Well, the thing about being a president,
but he was my president, and I didn't like people from from foreign countries. The ones most of them were praising me, but the ones that didn't, just like with Bush and any of the rest of them, it's not important what you think, because of the good old USA, you have the ability to say what you've got to say.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be an American because at least I know I'm free.
Oh my God, I did go to the Goodwill. I had to go up to Louisville, go to Menards, and we stopped at the Goodwill on our way home, and I got a Make America Great Again t-shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah. I thought so.
Hey, Tom, on that leadership thing, though,
yeah,
it's the same as being a captain on a baseball captain of any sports team or any like class president or any position of leadership. If you don't have the people behind you, it's hard to get anything done. Though I will say that. I mean, and I think that goes all the way up to being president of the United States. You got to at some point you got to have and he can do it. I mean, I'm not saying Trump is bad at that. I'm not talking about Trump, but just in general leadership. You need to have the support of the people under you, or you will go nowhere.
Yeah.
You may give the orders, but the people underneath you are the ones who are actually going to get it done. And if you can't get those people to move, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been there.
I agree with that.
Their leadership roles, but I managed a store. If I didn't have the employees pulling it my way, I was screwed. I needed those employees to do what I needed them to do, and just telling them to do it ain't enough to get 100% performance. You need them. Like I tell that story where when the day I'd hire them, I'd go clean the bathroom right in front of them so that they knew I was not above cleaning the bathroom of that store, because I wanted them to know I got your back and you're going to have my back, and that's the way we're going to go through that. For leadership, personally, I think you do need the people under you to know that you give a crap about them and that you got each other's back.
And when you ask them to clean the bathroom, or you're not like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm like less because I have to go clean the bathroom. Everybody.
There is no crap job in this organization. Every job's important.
Right.
Sharky Mom Deal says being president is like being a substitute teacher for an unruly class.
Yeah. Well, if you look at other countries, when other countries don't trust the U.S., that's a good point, because every 4 years the whole thing could change. So if you're a country that's you've kissed up to the U.S. now you're pals, 4 years from now they got another administration. All of a sudden that administration don't like what you were doing, and now you got to start from scratch.
Iran. The administration before, they had like this uranium deal, stuff like that, and now you get this administration, they got sanctions against them, and we kill one of their generals. Who was a terrorist? I don't disagree with it, but
it's just with the U.S. is hard to deal with if you're a foreign country.
Yeah.
Well, I think it needs to become a pay-as-you-go thing. If you need us to defend your country, then what you got to throw into the pot? You got 50 billion gallons of barrels of oil sitting under the soil.
Well, yeah, but the UN would never let that happen.
Fuck the UN, okay?
I know. I'm just telling you, it would
let me make it perfectly clear. I did not sleep with that woman. No, let me make it perfectly clear. Fuck the UN. They need to
Well,
find someplace else.
The problem is the UN is the other countries, they would be jealous of what you'd be obtaining because you're powerful enough to defend, like, these countries that have a resource you want to use.
Too bad. So sad.
Hi, Rita.
So how about that eBay?
Yeah. We started this year off with a bang on the first, and this is not the reseller hangout.
Oh my God. You know what happened to me? I had these 2 taxidermist deer heads. Okay, I had them both at auction at the same time. They both end. One sells for a little under 100. One sells for a little over 100. The first guy, some guy in Virginia, is like, yeah, I really want this, but I can't pay for it until the 26th of January. What? Why the hell didn't you message me before the auction ended or something like that? And I'm like, no, because you know how this is. They put this stuff off, and they ain't going to have the money on the 26th. I hate to be cold, but we're like, no, we're going to do a second chance offer, and then if that don't go together, we'll put it back and buy it now. Just go back and buy it if it's still available. So then the other deer head, we get a message, oh, yeah, I can't pay for this right now. I'll have to pay for it like on the 10th or whatever. I'm like, what the hell's everybody must be like Christmas broke in January. So there's like, I don't know, what is that? Not quite $200 standing out. And then I had this Fenton Bull that ended. That's like $150. They haven't paid for that yet either. I'm like $500. Yeah, like $500 and I'm waiting payments. I mean, I don't know if everybody's broke right now after Christmas or what.
Wow. Yeah.
But sales have been okay.
Yeah, sales have been all right.
Welcome, Priya, if that's pronounced correctly. Yeah, this show goes all over the place. We're just regular old folks, you know. We got people on all over the platform. Speaking of which, has anybody heard from Michelle lately?
No, not for very
No.
well. I mean, other than sometimes she posts some stuff on Facebook. That would be about it. Or she'll like something I put on Facebook or something.
I just haven't seen her
Not
or heard her in a
in a-
long time.
Not in a personal sense.
But
Yeah. For a long time.
I'm gonna shout it out again. I had my first Poshmark sale. I'm so happy about that.
So did you,
Congratulations.
did you make ambassador now after you have one sale?
I don't know. I
No.
think you have to sell a lot like Maggie does to become an ambassador.
No.
You don't have to
Honestly, I've never even looked at this site.
I'm an ambassador.
Okay, and Sally. I didn't know Sally was an ambassador. I knew she sold a lot on Poshmark, but
Did Nikki
Sally don't
get you
tutor on
ambassador?
porn. Maggie will say, "Hey, I'm a double queen ambassador on Poshmark now."
It took me like 7 months. 7 months
Wow.
from the time I really started going hard at it to get to
Well, like I know, like Nicole State, she doesn't sell on eBay at all anymore. I think she mostly sells on Posh now.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. There's another one too that's like a clothing, but I don't know the name.
I think
of
there's
it.
a lot of them.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
you
lot.
know, like trendier or something. It's got kind of a trendy name to it or something.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of people that we don't know about that are
Yeah.
out there that they put everything into Posh,
Yeah.
and that's just what they do,
Mhm.
and they make their money.
I wouldn't put all my eggs in the Poshmark basket, but some people do.
I'm not that good of a clothing seller. I don't really find like much for high end, what I would call high end clothing, or like women's fashions.
Kathy, she says, "Did we switch to no GSP? My new app doesn't allow for it." It might be to where you can't see it on the app.
Well, I listed on my desktop yesterday, and it's still on there.
Your what?
My regular desktop computer, and I was listing last night, and it's still a GSP there.
Yeah, I was listing last night too, and it was on there too. I'm saying like she's doing everything on her phone right now, I think.
When they do that, there's something with them when they, I don't know.
And sometimes on your phone you can't see everything.
They're still gonna switch up there. I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
Well, we still have
So you might not be able to see that on there, Kathy. You might have to like save it as a draft and then go in on your actual desktop or your laptop or something and look at that to be able, or I don't know. I think that's the only way you'd be able to see it.
Lord have mercy.
So, the phone that was ringing earlier was my phone, and my son was calling me.
Mm-hmm.
And my son and daughter-in-law just left the office where they had their ultrasound, and we are having a baby boy.
Ooh,
Oh,
congratulations.
congratulations!
I'm so excited. I knew it was a boy.
That is so awesome.
Are they the one that's moving to Florida?
No, they're not allowed.
No moving for you.
My older son is moving to Florida. This is my younger son, who. Yeah,
That's cool.
They should name him Marky Doodle.
Marky Doodle. I don't think so.
There was no lag. There was no thinking about it before she responded to that question. No, they are not allowed to. Not unless grandma's moving too. Now, if you can just get them to move down there, then you can move closer to the happiest place on earth.
Well, that's what I told him. Actually, my son is an electrician, and he has applied down at Disney for jobs.
Oh.
So if they were to ever, yeah. But for the meantime, we'll just have to.
Hi, Karen. Happy New Year to you.
Morning,
Hi,
Karen.
Karen. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. We're really excited. They're really excited.
That's really great.
It's been a long road for them.
It's going to be sad to see you go because we'll never see you. Because you'll always want to be over visiting that grandbaby.
Right. Mom, the baby's got a cold. Can you keep?
That's why
yes.
we never see Karen. That's why we never see Karen anymore. Is because she's always busy babysitting.
or she'll be sitting at her desk. She'll be sitting at the desk in front of the camera with one of those things where they have the little tiny babies, laid up against their chest, so moms can grocery shop and do work and stuff like that. That's the way she'll be.
Yeah.
Judy says, I think we need to do another karaoke night. I think Todd is missing it. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
That was a good video.
What are you talking about? That wasn't just a video. It was a party. We were partying. I felt like you were all right here in my living room with me. Just like I do right now.
No, that's not the way it was. It was some lag going on.
It doesn't matter. At the moment, I felt like you're all in my living room with me.
Well, that's good.
It was fun.
Yes, it was.
How far along is your daughter-in-law? Maggie?
I'll say that again.
How far along is your daughter-in-law? 3 months, 4 months?
16 weeks. So that's
3 months?
4 months? 3 months?
Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months. Yeah.
Well, in about 5 months, 6 months, the phone will ring. Well, no, I'm saying in about 5 or 6 months, the phone will ring early in the morning. And Maggie will pick it up and go, yes. bring him on over. Mom, I'm calling to see if y'all can have dinner with us tonight. Oh, okay. Well, I think we can work that in.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
My mom had 3 boys, and so her first grandchild was a little girl. And so she was all about everything being pink and frilly and, all that kind of stuff. And then she realized one day, she says, I don't know what to play with her. Because I'm used to sitting in the floor in the kitchen playing trucks with little boys or, catching ball. My little brother was a pitcher in Little League and junior high. And she called, when he needed practice, she'd get out in the backyard and catch for him. I mean, because she really liked baseball. But she's like, I really don't know what to do with them. But
all my mother's grandchildren are boys except for one. We only have one girl cousin. So we'll see.
Well, I just, you got to have some girls in the work somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have been happy with a girl too, but I'll be happy with a live baby. So.
But it's like I said, my mom she was so tickled because she made her a dress. Diana must have been like 18 months old. She made her a dress. It took 5 yards of material to make this dress. It had so many layers and folds and rip-rack and lace and all this other crap on it. That's the only dress she made. And my niece still has the dress folded up.
Oh,
her baby, when her little girl was born, she was a preemie really bad. And so she never really got to the size. She went from being way too small to wear it to it being too big to wear it. It's just like jumped so much. And but that was the only dress my mom made for her. And by the time she finished making it, she said that she would never make another one because it had so much fabric in it, so many layers. And my mom was a good seamstress. She and my dad square danced, and so she made all of my dad's shirts and she made all her dresses and stuff like that. Surprisingly, from the South and square dance. Yeehaw. But I know Roberta will be happy one of these days to have a granddaughter.
How's Roberta feeling anyway? How's her tooth?
She's doing better. She's at work. I tried to get her to stay at home again today, but she said no. She need to go in and make sure. Her direct boss is in Denver, but their boss's boss, her boss's boss, is across the room from her. And from Roberta. So she said she had to go in there and make sure he knew that she was still working. And which is funny because her boss's boss, whose name is Jim. He'll want something done that Roberta needs to do, and he'll just walk across the room and tell Roberta, "Can you do this for me?" And then when Roberta is having her meeting with her direct boss, she'll say, "Well, I'm doing this for Jim," and she's like, "Really? He hadn't said anything to me about it." So Roberta had to have a little talk with Jim about, you need to at least send my boss an email saying that you're having me do this. But she's doing good. She gets a little off balanced a little bit. But I said, okay, well, you call me if you need me.
Does
so
she have an
infection? Phone buzzes, I look to see if I got to run.
Does she have an infection in her tooth?
No, it's not an infection. They're probably going to have to do a root canal.
I get mine yanked out Friday.
And but like if they were going to do a root canal, the soonest they could do it would be probably the week, Tuesday of next week, because she has to be on antibiotics for like 4 days before they can do it because of her liver transplant. So it's a never-ending thing. I mean, when you have something done like that, because this med reacts with this med. You can't take that. Like she can't take a lot of like herbals and stuff like that because it reacts.
No.
She can't eat. Well, she doesn't eat them anyway. She can't eat broccoli.
Yeah, it's the green in it.
She can't eat any of that kind of stuff because it reacts with one of her meds.
Yeah. My mom was like that too. She was on dialysis and stuff.
Right.
But like she had a limit how much green beans she could eat or like a salad or any of that stuff. But you think vegetables are good for you. But I think it's like the vitamin K in like green vegetables. It interacts with the medicine and it will throw your levels way off. Or if you're on warfarin, it'll affect it.
Yeah. Warfarin. I've heard that.
The hard thing was the fluid restriction for dialysis because my mom always liked to drink like a lot of water and stuff where they restrict you to so many milliliters of water in a day. She hates that. She hated that.
Good morning, Beth.
Yeah, good morning, Beth. Beth, I caught your show at the tail end of it the other night, as you know. How's the eBay Open fund looking? My mom and dad, Fisher Pickens says that they have a square dance club there, and his wife dances with a couple of clubs. She has about 8 sugar daddies. When I was a kid, we traveled all over South Carolina and parts of Georgia and North Carolina because my mom and dad would they would dance at other clubs. Other clubs would have big, their monthly dance, and so you went over and you danced with them and whatnot.
Okay, what did you got?
No, Roberta was a clogger. She didn't square dance. Now I learned how to square dance. I learned to square dance with my first true love. We were 13, but Fish and Picking. I have a friend that he lives in Japan. He lives in Tokyo, and his mom was a ballroom dancer, and she had a ballroom dancing school. So of course he learned to dance all of them. Well, when he went to Japan, he didn't know anybody except his coworkers. And you're biting me. Stop it. And he saw this thing about this bi-monthly ballroom dancing thing they had. So, for the longest time, my friend's younger brother, I'd say, have you talked to Danny lately? Yeah, he's got like 6 girlfriends now, and they're all about 80 years old because men there was like a overabundance of female ballroom dancers and not enough men to go around. So he would go and they would dance their feet off. Wow. She needs a new F-250 pickup truck. He says these old guys will pay for new boots, dresses, and jewelry for my wife. When you got a monopoly, play it for all you can. Tara, my cousin, my niece had her horse trailer hooked up to her father's F-350 pickup truck.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 150.
No, F-350, because it's a
dually.
No, it's not a dually, but it's the one where the ball is in the back of the truck and the couple
Yeah,
goes
it's
over it.
Gooseneck.
A what?
A
That's
gooseneck?
gooseneck.
Yep.
Fifth wheel like type thing.
Okay.
No, completely different. A fifth wheel is like a camper that would have like.
Oh yeah, that has that.
The ball is on the trailer and the hookup's in the truck. A gooseneck is the ball is on the truck and the hookup's in the trailer. It's just a coupler. Anyway.
She was pulling it out of their property and got that trailer stack with her with 3 horses in the back of it. Just about burnt the clutch up in, not clutch, the transmission up in her dad's truck.
Well,
and then she was trying to unload all the horses, and one of the horses that was in the very back that had to come off first would step off like it was, would back out the horse trailer. And then when his foot would hit the mud and kind of sink, he would step back up into the trailer.
Why wasn't she staying up on the driveway?
Pardon me?
Why didn't she stay on the driveway? What was she trying to do, off-road with
it? Because they'd had a lot of rain, and where she parked the horse trailer at, it was soft.
It's bad here, too.
And I said, my brother was telling me about it. I said, what did you say to her? He said, it's going to cost about $8,000 to fix the transmission in that truck if you burn it up. And you don't have $8,000.
But you know what? If she'd have had a Chevy or GMC, she wouldn't have had no trouble with that transmission.
Bullshit.
That's what I drive.
They're only as good as the person that takes care of them.
True, but I will say this because I had a lot of friends that had the Dodge trucks that they're pulling horse trailers with, and I saw a lot of them have transmission problems, a lot. And I said I would not. If you wanted to buy a Dodge, you could buy it on the new market where they have a good warranty, but on the used market, I wouldn't buy it. And then our friend, when we lived in Wisconsin, is a mechanic, and he has this rack where he does transmissions. And I'm like, you should just call this like the Dodge rack, because I mean, it would be just Dodge truck after Dodge truck getting the transmission rebuilt on them.
There's a boy down the street that's got a Dodge Ram, the 1500 series or whatnot. It's a car. He uses it like a car that he can throw.
Well, yeah, you can like put your eggs in the. You can haul your eggs back from market in it.
Well, he uses it as a car.
Yeah,
a car that he can throw pine straw in the back of it or stuff like that. He has never put any weight on it, not even a boat, anything like that. And he's, hadn't had any problems with it. But his brother's got the same truck. And the only reason he's got it is because it's a really fugly colored brown. And it sat on the lot for like 2 years and nobody would even make him an offer. And he made him a low ball offer. And before he knew it, he owned this truck. But anyway, his brother's got a Dodge 1500 and he pulls a bass boat with it. And he's had transmission problems and rear differential or whatever.
Jim's brother bought a brand new Dodge diesel 3/4 ton, and he pulls a fifth wheel camper with it. But I will say this about Jim's brother. He said, I'm not necessarily a fan of a Dodge, but they have a great warranty program, and he trades the car off when it gets out of warranty. He's going to go buy
he never drives it outside of warranty.
Yeah, and he's going to go get a different one as soon as the warranty.
The Ford warranty was like 3 years or something, and it's 5 years with Dodge or whatever. He likes Ford.
But it's always in the dealership.
Yeah, he's always getting it fixed.
Done. Always getting stuff done.
If you're going to get like a half-ton pickup truck, you know what's handier and will haul more people, and it's just about as powerful, is a minivan. Because I swear those half-ton trucks, they actually build them on minivan unibody chassis.
Kia Soul.
Good morning, Mike.
Kia Soul chassis.
Sharky Mom Deal says the Chevy Dodge Ford debate.
That's the damn politics.
What did she say? I'm gonna listen.
Sharky Mom Deal said the Chevy Dodge Ford debate. Smiley face.
Well, I can tell you the Chevy's the best. So
I tell you this from working on vehicles. What happens when you lose your job at Ford They lay off. You go work at you go work at Chrysler, and if the Chrysler lets you go, you may wind up over at GM. So what happens is these engineers get recycled from auto company to auto company, or go overseas to Japan or whatever. And pretty soon, when you get under the hood, they all start looking basically the same, and patents run out. So they start using each other's patents and stuff. I mean, when you get under the hood, it's going to be like lawn tractors are now. Lawn tractors are made in the same. If you look at the parts on a lawn tractor, that part will fit like 15 different companies' lawn tractors. So that tells you all these lawn tractors are coming out of the same factory. They just put a different sticker on the hood,
different paint job, but you can have padded.
And they're getting darn near the same. Like the rear ends, they're all Dana. That's the same company's making the rear ends for all the domestic American cars.
That padded envelope right there.
Yeah.
All you do is reach your arm. There you go.
And that's just the rear ends. I mean, how many other parts are the same in all the different? I don't know. I'm not brand loyal.
A girl that her dad worked for a company that made the rear axles for pickup trucks, for manufacturers of pickup trucks. And I said, well, who do you make them for? Ford, Chevrolet, or Dodge? And he said, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They're all, when you order the parts, they're applicable to all the makes. So that tells you that they're all coming. It's all coming out of the same factory.
Fish and Picking says, I have an F-250, but nothing compares to my Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna say I have several friends that's got Ridgelines, and new Ridgelines, and they love them. But I'm gonna tell you what, it's going to kind of squat down if you throw a 27-foot caddy cabin boat behind it. I tried to get my mom and dad to get one when they upgraded to the Pilot.
Well, you know, Jim's dad used to. How big was your dad's sailboat? 26 foot, 22.
26.
He had a 26-foot Catalina, and he pulled it with a conversion van, and it pulled great. Didn't he use a conversion van when he pulled that thing?
But it had hydraulic brakes. It had
but I mean, it was a big sailboat, and he pulled it with a conversion van.
3 axles.
Yeah.
So I mean, but a lot of the weight was on the trailer. I mean,
yeah.
I had a CJ5 back in 1976, 75, 76.
Yeah, Jim's got a couple.
And I wished I had still had that thing. I had the most fun with that.
Oh, you have 7s? Yeah, I got 7s. Jim's got the Levi Wrangler 7.
Oh, that's a girl. All the girls in my high school had those.
Oh.
I dress up when I drive it.
He wears a wig and a dress.
I changed my name to Jamie.
He uses then he starts using the women's bathroom. It's kind of.
I had a green.
Oh God!
I had a Jeep. It had 2 seats in it, a 3-speed, and that was it when I got it.
When I started dating Jim, it isn't one of these Jeeps, but he had another Jeep. Was that a 7 too?
Yeah.
That he used to drive around. And one of my favorite movies is Coal Miner's Daughter. Anyway, I'm like, oh my God, I turned into Loretta Lynn when Doolittle's driving around in that stupid ass Jeep. I mean, I'm like, I'm not kidding. That's what I felt. I'm like, well, I've really come full circle. Really made it.
I mean, there was nothing that you couldn't fix on that Jeep. Because there was, what are you doing, lady? There was, it didn't have it only had a slight, the environmental control crap on it. There was nothing electronic on it. It had a 3-speed in it. I mean,
what year was it, Tom?
It was a 74.
Okay. I have a 76 and an 81.
I mean, that sucker was. And I hung out with, because once you buy something like that, everybody else that has Jeeps, even if they have the girl Jeeps, you kind of all become friends. And he's just like, hey, after school today, let's go riding, let's go 4-wheeling. We'd get my dad's shop behind the house and change plugs and do all that kind of stuff on it. Hell, you can't even find the plugs on them nowadays.
Hey, Tom, I got a fun CJ7 story. I may have told this one before, but it was Christmas break. I was in high school. I'm on the back seat of this guy, his dad, CJ7, and he's driving, and another buddy of mine's in the passenger seat, but I'm in the back seat with his younger sister. So, we're playing, me and his sister, messing around in the back seat. And these guys decide they're going to run over mailboxes. I'm like, whatever. I got, I'm busy. So, but all of a sudden I start hitting this mailbox, and I'm trying to kiss her, and they keep hitting this mailbox. And we're like, slamming into each other. I finally look up between the two bucket seats. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? They're going, oh, we're trying to knock down this mailbox. We can't quite do it. Well, they back up. They start rushing towards it. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's a red and white barn mailbox. We got one just like it. It's mounted on a big metal pipe. Also, we hit the metal pipe. I'm like, hey, you guys are hitting my mailbox. Because I didn't even know. I didn't know we were on my road. It was pretty funny.
Okay, you just mentioned breaking one of the biggest rules that we had in my little circle of friends in high school. We never, ever, even if you looked at them and you saw hearts flying through the air, you never dated their sister.
Oh yeah, this guy was not happy about it.
Mhm.
Never.
No, he was not happy about it at all. But I don't know. Well, his sister was very aggressive.
One of my buddies in high school, he hung out with us, even though he didn't have a Jeep. He had an International Harvester Scout.
We have one of those too.
Yeah,
I have
that was a beast.
I have a 1965. It's the same one that Burt Reynolds is driving in Deliverance, which it had been. And somebody painted it blue, but underneath it's that harvest gold color, like the Burt Reynolds one in the movie. Jim's all like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be somebody if it was Burt Reynolds Scout or something?" But I doubt that. Anyway,
it's the wrong year. It's like a couple years off.
I thought it was a 65.
No, his is like a 67 or something.
Oh, his
is a couple years off. Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway,
he gave it to a waitress.
Oh.
After they're done filming Deliverance, Burt Reynolds, I don't know. I guess they let him have it. And he didn't want it, so he gave it to a waitress at a diner they'd been eating at when they were doing filming the movie.
If I was to get a Jeep, I'd want one of the old ones. I don't want one of the new ones. First of all, I don't like them. I don't like the looks of them.
You don't like the new Jeep that looks like a Hummer?
No.
You don't like the independent. You don't like when they took the leaf springs away from the CJ? Remember when they took the leaf springs out of the front of the CJ?
The new ones look like they're something
YJ,
my mom would drive.
The YJ was the last one with leaf springs.
I just like the old, like the mid 1970s CJ5s. Because the radio it was in mine, I put in it. The carpeting, I put in it. It had a top, a regular, had a full top, but then I bought a Bimini top, and the Bimini top stayed up on it all the time. It was getting cold. It was getting cold in high school. About I was getting down to like in the mid 40s, and my younger brother was like, "Do you think we ought to put the full top up now?" No, I'll just turn the heat on high because that heater would burn you up.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Knock the freaking doors off.
Yeah, but yeah, he's in South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
How cold does it get?
I was gonna say because I drove mine with the doors off when it was about 40 degrees going down the highway, and I was ready to go to the emergency room.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, when you talk about the radio, I put a Kraco cassette deck in mine, and I only had one tape in it. It was Appetite for Destruction. So whenever I was in the Jeep,
Good morning, Jill.
He flipped that Jeep over and he was listening to it then. Wasn't it playing then?
Yeah.
I was going down a gravel road and they had just put new gravel down on it, and the back end slipped on that thing and it spun around, and I thought that thing was going to go over.
God, Jim's flipped them. He said you know when they flip them.
Well, the guy in the pickup truck ahead of me made the turn, so I figured, well, the pickup truck could make it. I'm going to make it. I didn't make it.
What's a Jeep J10, Fish? Is that the pickup truck one?
Oh yeah, that maybe
like
that is. Is it like the Gladiator?
I don't know. I'm looking at it.
We had one of those and we sold it. the engine was locked up in it, and the guy drove all the way from like out in eastern Pennsylvania all the way up to the top of northern Wisconsin to pick up this stupid truck.
That's
What
the
year was
pickup.
it truck?
65.
It was a
I don't think I
65
had a
Gladiator.
title on that one either.
No, we did not have the title.
Mine had the leaf springs in it, and I got so I could drop a daggum axle and replace them leaf springs in no time flat. And I'm talking about taking the whole assembly apart and replacing the one that I broke. My dad would be like, "What the hell are you doing with this thing?" I'm using it like it was meant to be used, Pop. Well, as long as you're paying for the damn springs, just don't kill yourself. Because my mom had read that the CJs were bad to turn over.
No, they turn over.
If you drove like a fool. But she didn't want me to have it in the first place. And she told me if I got hurt on it, it was my dad's fault. But I would snap the longless one. I would snap that. Actually, it's this way. I would snap that sucker. And finally, I quit buying them from from the Jeep dealer, and went to this guy that he restored, like the military Jeeps, and my dad did some surveying work for him, and my dad said, "You need to go see him when you need another one." So I had my next visit to the leaf spring dealer. I went by there, and he's like, "If you break this thing, your daddy needs to beat you behind because you're driving crazy." And actually, I never did break another one of the major ones. But that was some good times,
I didn't hear about your desk.
And kids, they don't do stuff like that anymore. First, they got to have a damn Audi. Yeah, we drove whatever the heck our parents got for us, or what we could scrape up enough money to buy.
I'll tell you what, for four-wheel drive, what's better than it? I hate to say this, and I mean I'm a CJ man, but I'll tell you one thing that we'll run circles around CJ off-road. Suzuki Samurai. Oh my God, that thing it'll climb anything. It'll get in between trees. It's so skinny, and if you get up on top of snow or mud, you're literally up on top of it. Like, don't sink. It don't weigh nothing.
The compact looking thing.
That's the one that they got rid of because it was flipping over. They don't make them anymore. It looks like a Geo Tracker.
Yeah, the Chevy Tracker was. Teresa had one of those. That thing went everywhere. It would go and take almost a foot of snow like it was nothing.
Yeah, I agree. The problem with I don't know if the Geos rusted too, but I know those Isuzus, though, man, they really rusted.
80.
Yeah.
Or no, not Suzuki. It's a Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tracker, that thing went everywhere. The only thing that happened to it was the floorboard started falling out of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, not the Jeeps don't rust too, but
it was like the Flintstone mobile.
Guys rust.
Yeah.
One of my friends who
that thing was a little
went into the body work. That's the track he went in when he went to it was called CDC, which was Career Development Center, and they taught like body work, hairdressing, drafting, stuff like that. He did the body shop work, and every time we'd put a dent in or bang up something or dented the hood up, he'd drive it over to CDC, and they'd fix it and paint it and got a lot of body work done for free. Because, I mean, they had these guys needed something to practice on. But I tell you what, I got my Jeep stuck one time. We were out four-wheeling. I got it stuck one time, and I mean, it was body on mud. It just fell in a hole. Couldn't get it out. The other guys tried pulling me out, wouldn't pull it out. This guy came along in his Chevy 4-wheel drive, tried pulling me out. He couldn't let me out. We were running parallel to, there used to be, if there still isn't, a fiber optic line that runs from Maine to Miami. And they would have people fly it, because if it got broke, it would knock out a lot of systems. But anyway, they had people flying it that flew it, and also then they had guys that would come along and they would cut trees and stuff that fell across the right of way for it. But this guy came along and he had, I don't know what it was. It was a big old truck. Had 6-wheel drive on it.
Damn.
We had straps. We didn't use chains. We used straps to pull with. He said, hook that thing up. Hook that thing up to the back of this thing. And yeah, like Mississippi mud. And he said, you just let off on the clutch and I'll do the rest. Hell, I wasn't even in the Jeep. And he let off on his clutch and just drug it out of the mud. He said, I told you it'd come out. I said, yeah, but I'd like to at least been able to put it in neutral. But it was good times. Good times. Kids gotta sound like an old man. Kids like that, kids today don't have such, they don't have such adventures like that.
Well, they could. It's just like people have gotten like more worried about safety than when we were kids.
Yeah.
It's like bicycles. I mean, when you were a kid, did you ever have like helmet, knee pads, elbow pads? I never had anything like that. I always had gravel. I always was wiping out and had gravel stuck in my knees and stuff like that.
If you did, you'd have been made fun of. So if your mama made you wear one, if they even had them back then.
Yeah, they'd be like,
got away from your mama, you would have ditched that sucker in a bush somewhere.
Oh my God, but I was saying, because they have all those bike trails up in Wisconsin. Like if you rode them and your kid didn't have a helmet on, I mean, it would be like as if you were hitting your kid or something. I mean, you'd be getting comments or skulls or stuff like that. It's funny how
I think it's required in Mecklenburg County
to wear a helmet. Really,
children to wear a helmet.
Oh.
I know it was in California.
Huh?
Really?
Well, I'm not surprised with California. And I say that with love.
Not when we were
kids.
Like
when you were a kid, Sally, or when your kids are kids?
When my kids were kids, but not when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we lived out in the freaking country, and we'd run up and down that road on our bikes, and usually, like I remember riding on Valerie's handlebars, and she had a bump, and I had a goose egg that stuck out probably 4 inches from my head, and I still didn't go to the doctor.
I was always like riding like snowmobiles and stuff, and jumping them, and driving like a lunatic. I had a little motorcycle for a while. But then my grandmother made my uncle get rid of it because she said that wasn't good for having a girl ride around on a motorcycle. It was like a little dirt bike. Oh, so mad at her. I could have killed her.
I didn't ride a dirt bike for the first time until I was probably about 14 or 15, and my dad got one for my brother, and I tried to ride it, and I didn't know how to ride it. So I just basically taught myself how to ride it, and I ended up with this big old gash on my freaking ankle. And I don't even know. I don't even remember what happened with that. I think I just my mom just patched it up, and I was good to go or whatever.
Put some Mercurochrome on it and some bandages.
Like, we didn't
that-
go to the doctor. For
No,
stupid
you remember your
shit,
parents would
you
come
know,
with a medical kit, and you're like, because they're gonna be pouring stuff in there that's gonna burn. It's gonna be like the
Yeah.
hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, Curacomb. And my kid,
Yeah.
when we were in Wisconsin, Brandon did something where he kind of like he stuffed himself or whatever. So the nurse is like, okay, well, when you get home, maybe you should clean that up. And Brandon's like, yes, I'm going to put medical alcohol on it. She's like, what? Yes, medical alcohol, rubbing alcohol. She's like, oh, no, that would sting too much. And Brandon's like, explaining, goes, no, you don't understand. It's medical alcohol. It kills all the germs. Like, that's how Jim is. Brandon will be like, oh, I cut myself. He'll dose it with that medical alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol anyway.
Yeah. Yikes.
Back when I remember one time when I was a kid, my younger brother and some of our friends were down in the woods where we had forts built that, the thought of them now scares me as an adult, But I rode down. I had an English racer, and I rode down there to get home, or I rode down to get my younger brother, and on the way out, I had my younger brother sitting on the handlebars. Mitch Slauson was sitting because my bike had one of the racks that you'd like lift up the piece and it was spring loaded to hold stuff down. So it was flat. Mitch Slauson was sitting on the back, and his younger brother David was sitting on the crossbar coming up the street. People would lose their mind now if they saw four boys doing that. Those babies are going to get hurt. Medtaz 71, and I'm sorry I cannot remember your name. She says she has a Jeep Grand Cherokee. A year ago, we had a Jeep Grand Cherokee as a rental car, and it's that big one. And it was black, and it had black interior and four-wheel drive and heated seats and heated steering wheel. And we had it during January, so it was cold. It's getting down to like 38 degrees. And I could stand in the doorway, and I could hit that button, and that sucker would crank up. So it was warm time we went out there. The seats would be toasty warm. I like that thing, but it only came, it didn't have a third seat. And Roberta and I, because we got to replace my car and get Roberta a new one. And I told her, I said, I really like that Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it didn't have a third seat. And she said, well, for God's sakes, are you planning on getting more kids? We don't need it. People. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. That's like it rode good at all-wheel drive. No, it had four-wheel drive. And, that was a nice vehicle. It was sweet. Only I didn't want black. I'd like to have like a red velvet, something like that.
I could see you in red velvet.
Well, that's a color. That's a Ford color, okay?
Oh, I thought maybe you'd wear like a red velvet suit while you're driving around.
No. I am a black tie kind of guy. I don't go for the. Even though I'm gonna have to find my prom pictures from the 70s. I think I had a light blue tapestry one year for prom. But I don't. I go for just the basic black.
Oh, the gerbil's back. Haven't heard that for a while.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Yep.
The traps are set.
He's in your computer lines. I can tell you where he's at. Oh my God, my son is watching these old hoarder shows. Okay.
Oh, no.
So he's like, oh, here, watch it with me. I'm like, oh God, it stresses me out too much because first of all, they got too much water. But the other thing is, like, they had this lady. She had like 18,000 Barbies, okay, all new in the box, plus all the accessories and that. And they're like, well, you have to donate some of these. I'm like, please. I mean, why wouldn't you sell them? You want this person just to give away their stuff because they got too much stuff, you know? Anyway, it just like drives me nuts. Because some of the stuff, okay, yeah, should they have like 18,000 Barbies in their house and they can't move around their house anymore? Probably not. But they can turn it into money. They did buy them at one time. Anyway, I get so at it. But anyway, there was this lady in California. Now, she had just like trash. It was bad. But her whole house was infested with rats. Not mice, rats. Like the big ones, you know?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, you might have to just knock your house down. I mean, it was so bad. When they got the garbage off the floor, there was so much mouse poop on the floor. It looked like somebody dumped cans of coffee.
Oh.
It was, oh my God. It's called, what was it called? It's Hoarders, like Family Edition, because Brandon's like, they should call this Deadly Hoarders anyway. Oh my God.
Yeah. That is awful.
Good morning, T-Talks.
You know, there used to be this show, I don't know what it's called, but it had that guy that did like the home makeovers.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it had that guy in it, Todd, or I can't remember. Ty. Yeah, and it was him and a couple of other people, but what they would do is they would take everything out of the house, and they'd put it on the front lawn, and like all the trash and everything went in the dumpster, and then they got to keep some stuff and also donate stuff and then also sell stuff. And so they they would have this like huge yard sale. And so that they got to like keep some pieces like that had sentimental value to them, like as far as furniture and stuff like that, and I'm sure like even just smaller items, but like it had to go with the furniture and stuff, had to go with like the way that they wanted the house. Like it had to have like they tried to like kind of reinvent it, or maybe make it different or refurnish it or whatever. So anyways, then they got to sell the stuff, and then that went into what they used to renovate the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like buy more furniture, do the floors, whatever. Cool. And so it helped people actually, like improve their life, beyond like just cleaning up their house, even though they had this like really bad damaged floors and stuff from hoarding. They would get to,
well, was there a black lady that was on Reno 911 on there?
Yes.
Niecy Nash.
Yeah, she'd give them hell. Yes. She'd stick that finger out and she'd go, we need to talk about this. People would start backbiting.
This lady in California, so I just did, but anyway, they're gonna do the first initial tour of the house, which if I lived in that situation, there's no freaking way I'm having TV cameras in my house. So everybody, except the lady who lives in the house, because she's been living in it, puts on their biohazard suit with the mask so they don't breathe anything icky or whatever. I like just die of shame right there. I just like push me in a pile of trash. I'll die, and then you can figure it out after I'm gone.
The rat piss had permeated the floor. The house was no longer structurally sound due to rat urine.
Yeah, like on her furniture, they had to like throw everything away because like the legs on a cabinet or whatever, this high up, would be coated with this rat pee poop plaque. Yeah. I never saw anything like
it. Go down to Walmart, buy 22 and shoot them damn rats.
Well, she was trying to put rat traps out, but she's just so overly infested.
Well, sometimes it takes a gun.
We can't just shoot rats in your own house. Like the house is so
you can if you're a good enough shot. No.
There's a rat. But I guess at that point it didn't matter anymore. But she had a really nice house. I mean, it was a big house. It had a beautiful fireplace, really nice kitchen. Like, I mean, it was a really nice house. But I mean, she just like it's just full. They're like. They show her in the window, they like knock on the door, and it's like this mound of stuff, like, I don't know, like 5 foot high. There's maybe like 4 foot between her and the ceiling or something. And then you're looking through the window, and all of a sudden you see this old lady pop out, like she's on top of Mount Crumpet, and then come down it to go answer the door.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
I
that's
feel,
what
I
guys
feel
will know.
bad for people like that. I feel
No,
bad
it
for
makes
people
me-
like that.
I feel like bad and anxious, but then also like when I see the got junk people there, like the lady with the Barbies, they got the got junk guys with their dumpster trucks. I'm like, these got junk guys are just chomping on the bit to sell this shit, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, didn't what's his name? The guy up north, maybe Chicago, that has a YouTube channel, has the thrift store.
Oh yeah, Pete. I
Right,
think
yeah,
he used
Pete.
to do
Right,
something
Didn't
like
he used
that.
to do clean outs?
He used to. Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Did you see what he's doing, trying to do right now
Nah.
with
Yeah, with the war medal
with the
thing.
homeless guy? Yeah, it was on
Yeah.
the news and everything. So
Yeah, up in Chicago.
Oh, I
yeah,
Yeah, non-paying bidder on the medals, but
yeah,
you probably could have figured that was going to happen because they went for way too much money.
yeah, the homeless guy come in with his grandfather's, was it British medals or something like that?
Yeah, World War I British medals.
And he said he needed surgery on his foot. He broke his ankle and needed surgery, and he has no money. He has no house. He lives in his van, so he took those and pawned them.
No, don't do that.
And Pete kept asking him, "Are you sure? You want to do this?" He says, "I have nothing else to give. I have to have this done." And so Pete took him and he put them on. He had so many emails coming in from people that watched the video. He said, "Put them on eBay, and so we can bid on them." So he did, and they bid up to like $13,900. And Pete, his intentions was to give that money to him and to give him back his medals. Well, the buyers never paid. So now he's got to GoFundMe, and it's up to almost 8,000, I think. The last CBS broadcast said it was almost, as of yesterday, it was 8,000. I donated 20. I thought that was a great cause, and because Pete would come back on and said, "Can we help Kevin?" And he's like, shared the link and all that. So I think they're trying. He's trying to raise the 13,900 that eBay. Where they didn't pay. And the worst thing was he contacted eBay for Business on Facebook, and all they did was say, "Sorry, it didn't work out. Here's a link for unpaid buyers."
Yeah, there is really no teeth. They don't have it. If you have a non-paying bidder at auction, what would be their teeth to collect it if the person doesn't have the money? I mean, I could go to a live auction. Like, let's say I went to an antiques auction tomorrow and I went and bought $1,000 worth of stuff. After the auction ends, I said, "I don't have the money to pay for it. I'm leaving all this stuff here." There's nothing they could do. I mean, I'll probably lose my privileges to go bid at the auction again, but there's nothing that they can't force you if you don't take.
And that's what Pete was saying. He said he was more disappointed in the way eBay looked at it. They didn't even reach out. A big giant company like that didn't even reach out to even offer.
Oh, so he thought like eBay was going to pay for it or get some money for it?
He's like, what can we do? He showed all the the links to the videos where CBS, a major broadcasting company, had come in to pick up the story, and you would think that eBay wouldn't want that negative feedback.
So what could eBay do?
Right.
I mean, how could you force the buyer to pay for it? You can't.
But
there's only one way on eBay that you can make the person pay for the purchase when they hit the buy box, and that's it. Don't have an auction and don't have best offer.
Right. And it's I think he was more upset about how cold they were towards the whole situation more than the money or anything like that. So that's why he took it upon himself to do the GoFundMe.
I think it's really. I mean, I commend him. I mean, it's really, really a great thing to do. I don't think less of eBay. I mean, I don't know what you'd expect eBay to do.
I don't either. I don't think he thinks less of them either. I think he's just a little disappointed in how they come off, of the situation. They could have been had a little bit more bedside manner, I think, is the way he's looking at it. Like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This it didn't work out. This is what you can, but they were more like, "Oh, here's a link. Here you go. You're on your own." And I think he was a little disappointed in their
the only thing they could have done really is they could have called contacted the buyer and say, what's the deal here?
Right.
But they probably do. You get messages when you're a non-paying bidder.
Yeah.
You get automatic messages from eBay, but the other thing is, I mean, what's the teeth in it? You can't say, well, that's it. We're linking it to your checking account. We're going to pull that money out. I mean, they can't do that.
Right. That's the reason they need pay. Well, even when you buy on high price items like that, you can't buy it now.
Well, I suspect. Well, my theory a little bit, and this is just me, and I'm an idiot, so don't listen to me. Like the metals, they had been. You have a very big YouTube channel, and it was getting like publicity. And there are assholes out there that do stuff like bid stuff up. I think that's a little bit what happened there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so too.
It could go above market value, but it went quite a bit above.
Oh yeah,
value.
because he said that.
I mean, when that auction would have been going off, I would have been very skeptical with a zero feedback buyer up at the top.
I think he was to begin with.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes zero feedback is just guests who, you know, they might have picked up on the story and thought, hey, you know, I want to get on this. You know, see if I can and get them. But you know,
like go like the Jerry Lewis telethon. You know how many people call in like big pledges, like $5,000, and they never send the money, but they get off on hearing their name being said on TV or whatever, and then they don't send the money. Is that an asshole thing to do? Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? But there's just people out there that are that way. I don't know. You know.
And I look at it this way. I said the only one that can judge them is the man above, and their time will come. You know, if somebody does something like that, their time will come when they're standing at those pearly gates and say, "Hey, didn't you do this? You know, to this person?" And okay, see ya, bye.
I don't know. You know what the other thing is? You could have had somebody that won the bid that maybe in good intentions, they knew they couldn't buy it, but they thought they were pushing the bid up to get more money, and then it ended up in their lap, you know, and now they don't have the money to do it. I mean, you could have had somebody maybe there with misguided good intentions.
Right.
I mean, who knows?
You know what? I think now, like eBay has its name out there to where people know what eBay is. Okay, so I think they should make a definitive a decision on how they will treat people that are shill bidders or you know, just bid and don't pay, or
you lose your account, but then you set up another account because there's no like limit.
They say that happens, but who really sees you know that actually happens? You know what I mean?
Got caught many years ago. Jim got caught with a shield bid thing. He had his brother bid on a snowmobile that we were getting a lot of stupid questions. So his brother bid it up, and Jim got caught because they figured out that it was his brother, and he had to take the tutorial for shield bidding. But if you lose your account, you just set up another one. I mean, I think it's very easy as a buyer. It's not like being a seller where when you get kicked off of eBay, you can't have another registered account like on that IP address or whatever. I don't think it's like that for a buyer. Well, because the other thing is eBay doesn't want to limit buyers. They're trying to bring buyers in, you know. If you start making restrictions on buyers, you would chance not bringing in as many buyers. So.
But see, then that's the thing. Like people could just go in there and make a bid and then not be expected to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, and I have never heard of a person, you know, making bids or whatever and not being able to pay for it, and then them cutting them off. I've never heard of.
You would think.
Maybe they're allowed so many. Hey Jim, how many non-paying things on your account before they like suspend you? Do you know?
For buyers?
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Oh, it is unlimited.
Yeah, the only thing you can do as a seller is you can say you won't take people with more than.
Oh yeah, we do this as a seller. If you have more than, it's in your thing when you list. If you have more than one unpaid item case, it will allow it where it won't allow you to bid on my item in my store. You can't put that kind of thing on there.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I just think.
Guys, I gotta go. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day.
All right.
You would think that they could do the same thing with buyers with the IP address, you know, that they do for sellers.
I just don't think they want to limit them. I mean, yes, the shitty stuff happens sometimes, but I don't think you'd want to like say make restrictions and limit buyers because you are always trying to bring buyers to the platform.
Do you
Like
see
for
this
say you're,
banner?
let's say yeah.
If you don't
Oh,
pay,
yeah.
Tara says Jim out to
Or
collect.
say,
No, well, I mean, like I got auctions, and I don't know if people are broke right now. I got like those deer heads sitting out. I mean, this guy, oh, I can't pay for it till the 26th. Okay, well, why didn't you message me before the auction quit or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had
I mean,
to,
that's not
I had to
really
do that.
that's not
I had
really
somebody.
fair to me. But that's the other thing is like they win the auction with maybe not with the $13,000 worth of metals with the intention of buying it, but they're broke and they won't have the money 30 days from now because something else will come up and then they send me the sob story and I don't want to be like cynical like I'm trying to buy it for my uncle and he has liver cancer and bone cancer and brain cancer and I'm thinking and you're buying him a deer head. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Couldn't you do something else for him other than I'm dying here? I get to look at this dead deer head now.
Yeah.
I think if
Sometimes they kind of fabricate up the story a little bit. I hate to be cynical.
If they were to link, their IP address with either so many accounts of show bidding or so many accounts of non-payment, they could regulate it that way. You would have to have so many strikes against them, and then they can say, "Okay, you're out of here." This
Yeah,
IP
I don't know, but then you're still limiting the buyer pool. So I understand why eBay is not trying to limit the buyer pool. Because you know what? For every screw up they do where they don't pay for something, they might buy 10 other items.
Yeah. I had a buyer do that to me the other day. Bought 2 controllers from me for the Xbox 360, and then I waited. They never paid. And he said, "Oh, hey, I lost my pay card. I'll pay you on Thursday." I'm like, "Sorry, I'm gonna have to cancel it, or you're gonna get a mark against you because of I have it set for 48 hours. If you don't pay, then eBay automatically opens the case." So
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, okay." I said, "But what you can do is if you get your card," I said, "you let me know and we'll relist them and you can buy them then." He's like, "Okay." So, I mean, he was understanding, but sometimes they don't. It's like,
No, well, the other thing is they have the intention they want to buy it eventually, but when they win it at auction, it's like best offer. Like if somebody sent you, like say you had a $50 item and they offered you 45 and you accepted it, they don't have to pay for it right away, but it does take your item off the market until they think they're going to get the money to be able to buy your item. Right. But it does take it out of the eyes of other buyers, and I think sometimes people do think like that, like I can't afford it right now, but next Tuesday I'll be able to afford it. So if I can get it where it's not listed right now, at least then I'll be the buyer of it.
Now, see, I have mine set where I have the 48 hours on that too, because I've had that happen on Gone with the Wind items that are, $40 some, $50 some, and I'll take a best offer, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't pay you until the end of the week." Well, and it's Monday. I'm like, "You're going to get a mark against you if you don't pay," and then they'll say, "Okay, I'll try to pay you Tuesday." So I let it sit. Still nothing, and by Wednesday eBay automatically opens the case, and they're like, "Well, I told you I'd pay you on Friday." I said, "No, you just said you could pay me on Tuesday."
I don't have
what happened.
I don't have best offer on my listings. I get I get offers, a lot of offers. I don't have best offer on, but what I do is if it's an offer I'm going to take, I just go change the price on the listing, message them back and say, "Okay, I changed the price on the listing."
Yeah.
I would say 8 times out of 10, they're not the person that buys the item because the items got watchers on and somebody else jumps on it. And I don't care because it's all about the money.
I have it on mine. I have best offer on all of mine, but I sell more at what I'm asking than I do for best offer. So, and I've tried it both ways. I've turned best offer off on everything and still had the same amount of sales as I do with it on. So it's like, well,
what gets me is sort of like what's happening to Tara but hers was a sold item. I had a lady kept making me offers on an item back before Christmas, and she would say, "But I need to pay you on the 15th," and this was like the 25th of the month before, and I said, "Well, on the 15th, make the same offer, and if it's still available, I'll sell it to you at that price. Well, can't you go ahead and sell it to me now? No. I tell her, no, I'm sorry. Contact me on the 15th and I'll accept the offer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And she never did. What was his name? Blimpy or whatever on Popeye?
Oh, Wimpy. Yeah, Wimpy.
Yeah.
Or Wimpy.
Yeah.
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yes.
We had this one. This was just like last week. This guy wanted to buy this peanut CD. It came from when we bought out that Shopko stuff. And it's cheap. And I have like multiple copies. They're just not going anywhere. And he can't pay for it yet. And he's trying to make payments on his credit card so he can buy this. I think it's like a $5 CD or $5.99 or whatever it is. It comes out to be like $7 with shipping. So then he's messaging us. I paid $8 on my credit card, but I says I only have $4 available credit. And he's having all these like money problems. I'm like, dude, if you got this bad of problems for like, where you can't buy an $8 peanut CD, maybe you should just wait on it,
Yeah. Is it that important?
Yeah.
And his avatar is a grown ass, looks like a 30-year-old guy. It's like, go upstairs, ask your mom for the money, and then go back down to the basement.
Use your mom's credit card, buy it. Anyway.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Sadie.
You've never seen him?
I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Sadie.
Well, that's been his picture for forever.
Well, I normally, don't look. I'm old. I've got bad eyes. I can't see this damn picture this big.
Yeah, you were on a show with Mr. Sadie. He was on Kathy's political show, and I'm pretty positive you were in there.
That's right. I was.
Yeah.
I'm old and forgetful.
Hey, Tom, you better get that laser surgery on those cataracts. Go get that laser surgery on those cataracts you're growing.
I can't. I have keratoconus. I can't have laser surgery.
Oh.
Jim, you have got to get your woman under control, son. You're in the South now.
Oh, you're cute, Tom.
Well,
like, because we go to these auctions down here, sometimes I see like they look at us twice because like I hold the bidding number. I do like 90% of the bidding. I drive Jim everywhere we go.
Oh my God, Tom! When we're in a grocery store, if I move the cart, if she lets me push the cart, she'll then put herself in the front of the cart and then guides the front of it to steer it. When we go to I never sit down because whatever table I pick, she ain't gonna she's like, why didn't you pick a table? I'm like, okay, let's take this one. Oh, I don't like that one. So I'm like, it's a waste of time. I'm cursed sit first because on whatever table I pick, she ain't gonna like. So there ain't no control in that woman.
Well, Jim, I don't wish anything bad to happen to you, but you better go before she does, because I don't think you're going to be able to focus. I just don't think you're going to be able to survive on your own without Tara.
He wouldn't.
I lived for years by myself. It didn't bother me at all.
He wouldn't be. You're right, Tom. He wouldn't be able to survive without me.
Poor Brandon. Jim would have a nervous breakdown if something happened to Tara, and he had to look after himself and Brandon. He'd have to send Brandon off to boarding school just so somebody would look after him.
Well, but because I know what groceries I'm buying, so then they insist on pushing the cart. But and you know what else drives me nuts to the grocery store? I'll be shopping for stuff, and they're right on top of me. I can't move. If I back up a step, I'm like stepping on them or bumping into them. I mean, it just drives me insane. I'm thinking, can't you just go like over like 5 feet so you're not right on top of me?
Here's
what I like the queen bee. We're like the little drones.
I'll be like getting spaghetti sauce, and they're like right here, I can't even move a step. Here they are, like right here.
We're like the board. We're not capable of independent thought.
I have grocery store road rage. I can't do it.
We use Cozy. We use Cozy so we can put our grocery list into it, and so whoever goes to the grocery store will have whatever we need.
Now I still like to physically shop, but I will say, and I love it here, but these people, they'll drive like 300 miles an hour on it, but you put them in a Walmart and they just move like a glacier. I mean, they just barely move in the aisles. They're like walking up and stuff.
Oh, I hate
never saw people that for as fast as they drive in a car can walk that damn slow.
And if you want a
Not
can
just
of
that, they have family reunions right in the middle of the damn aisle. What the hell? You know, there's parks for that. You got 50 people. I said, I just want to roll a
I just want to get a loaf of bread. And you're blocking up the whole aisle, and I'm stuck.
And when you roll up on a cart by the pork and beans, roll up next to the pork and beans you want, and then put it in your cart. Don't park your cart on the other side of the aisle, and then you and your husband and your nappy kids or whatever all stand in front of on the other side. So now you got the entire. You could just have the cart on the same freaking side as you are, so other people could make way. I mean, and then they apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't tell me you're sorry. Just get the flip out of my way.
Or they stand on the other side of the aisle with their arms crossed trying to decide what bag of chips to get. And you go, it's like, their cart's over here. They're over here. It's like, why should I have to say, excuse me, you're in my way?
No.
Well, I like going to the grocery store by myself because I get in, I get out. Roberta wants to walk up and down every aisle, even the baby sections. Baby, we don't have a baby. We're not planning on having a baby. Well, I just want to see what kind of new stuff that they have out now.
Yeah, well, Tom, when she does that, then you stand right on top of her. Make sure you're like pushing right next to her.
Oh my God. I went in at Kroger's that day. I mean, Jim was such an asshole. I mean, I'm like, okay, let's just get the hell out of here. I mean, you can't even try. If it ain't Walmart, he won't go in it. And he was so pissed about that Kroger's. I mean, I can't even stand him when he's like that.
If the boys go with me, I tell them everybody pull up cozy. You know, Sasha, you get the first 20 items. Sergey, you get the last 20 items. I'll get everything in the middle. And they all run around with the cart getting their stuff. And then we all put it in my cart and then we pay out. But normally they don't like going with me to go grocery store.
No. Me
But
neither.
you know what? See, that's another thing. You're not supposed to be shopping in the grocery store. You're supposed to be doing their where they gather everything up for you and you just drive up and they put it in your car.
No, I like to
Instacart
walk around the grocery store because I got a couple clearance areas I check and stuff like that.
I like to get the good deals. So if I go, I'm gonna take my time and get the good deals and be in there. I'm gonna work the store.
Now,
yeah, and I'm checking like the clearance food section, the clearance bakery section, the clearance section, all that stuff, the clearance video game section. So I got stuff to do.
My sons would not know to eat what it would be like to eat something from Walmart to deli that didn't have a yellow clearance sticker on it. I'm like, what does it matter? What does it matter? They're donuts, okay? They're half off. The way you guys eat this stuff, you don't even taste it. You just shove it in your mouth and swallow it. Sally's got boys. She knows how they are.
Oh yeah.
They get to a point where they don't even taste stuff. They're just like shoveling it in their mouth.
They don't even chew.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Did you even chew?
But
It's like giving your dogs a treat, kind of.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I'll go into our Walmart. I'll go into our Walmart market, and I know pretty much where everything's at. And I'll go in and get something that's at the front right of the store, and then I'll tell the boys if they're with me. I'll say, okay, I got to run back here to the deli section, which is in the back left-hand corner of the store, just to see what's on the clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Check your weight.
I'm sorry. I just, like I said, I'll buy fresh stuff for Roberta, but these guys consume, they just shovel it in their mouth. They don't know whether it's stale or not. It's just sweet. Yeah, Mr. Sadie.
Look at this. When I lived in Wisconsin, okay, this neighbor across the street, his brother-in-law ran a bakery. So he would come with these like clear, like a garbage bag, but like a food grade bag of donuts. I mean, like there were, I don't know, 30 pounds of donuts in there. I'm like, what am I going to do with them? He goes, they're still good. I'm like, okay. So I I throw them out in the field. These donuts. I just throw because I can't eat this many donuts, and they're in a garbage bag and kind of freak me out. So I throw them out in the field, and then like the next morning I'd be watching. I have all these black crows flying around my farm with these donuts in their, talons or feet or whatever, flying around with these donuts and stuff. I'm like, oh no, I hope that neighbor doesn't see all these crows flying around with these donuts. I don't want to hurt his feelings. Anyway,
You seen my video I posted yesterday, didn't you?
what'd you say?
You seen my video I posted yesterday?
Yeah, I saw that with all the blackbirds. Yeah, that was cool.
It's like, walked out. I was like, okay, where's Alfred Hitchcock?
I don't see that here. We used to get that in Wisconsin, like where I live, like in September when the blackbirds start up to migrate up there. I mean, I'd go outside in my field. There'd be just like, I don't know, 800 blackbirds out there in my field and on my fence lines and stuff.
I started my diet on the first of New Year's.
And you're dieting?
I'm doing good, holding to it really good.
Good.
On the couple of days before New Year's, like on Monday, I had to go into Food Lion, and they had their Sweet 16 little powdered donuts on sale. Buy one get one free. And I bought one of those things, and I only live about 5 miles from my house to the Food Lion. And I swear, I did not realize I'd eat that whole damn bag time I got home.
Yeah, that will make it. There's nothing make you feel guiltier than buying a dozen Dunkin' Donuts and then eating them before you get home.
Mr. Sadie said this show always finds a way to talk about donuts.
Yeah.
Gotta make the donuts.
Well, listen, I've got to start my rounds, so I need to get out of here.
Yep,
Thank y'all for all coming in here. I appreciate it. And
You're welcome.
2020, Lobster says I started and finished in the same day. 2021 is a new start. Well, I've lost 8 pounds. Thank you very much. But anyway, I'm glad you all could come in here, find time in your busy schedules to come in here and hang out with me for a little bit. Sally, you going to do it tomorrow? You want me to plan on doing it? What you want to do?
Lori, are you going to be available tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do it tomorrow. Friday,
Okay.
no, I'll be getting my tooth pulled. So
Okay. And on Friday, of course.
as of right now, I'm free tomorrow. So if anything changes, I'll let you know. Tom.
Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be on Lori's channel. If you have not subscribed to her, please do so before you go. Thanks again for coming in. Hope everybody has a great day. So y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, guys.